Hello and welcome to today's prenatal yoga class with me, Layla. So we'll get started out with a pillow or a cushion or a bolster or a block, or even some books if you don't have anything else. So we'll just sit up on bolster or appropriate prop that you have handy. Okay, so settling into a comfortable seated position with the spine lengthened, placing the hands down on the ground. Just beginning to become aware of how your body feels physically. Noting how you feel on a mental and emotional level. And wherever you are at today, however you're feeling, always respect the limits of your body and how you're feeling. So we'll just start with closing the eyes and bringing our awareness now to the breath. With each breath in, feel the air flowing through the nostrils, passing into your lungs through the nasal cavities. And on the exhalation, the opposite is happening. Just noticing how breath flows in and out. Inhaling, the belly expands, the ribs expand, the chest and shoulders begin to rise. And with each exhalation, everything begins to soften, moving back towards center. Inhaling, expanding. Exhaling, releasing, letting go of anything that doesn't feel good for you today. With each breath out, feel the energy flowing down your body, down into the ground. Energy pressing down, and that helps us to lift up and lengthen. So as you press the sitting bones down to the ground, the head begins to rise. We're not working hard here, just gentle, subtle movements. We'll take 3 more breaths here. Feeling the breath reaching all the way down to baby, nourishing, and on the breath out, carrying away any waste products. And then gently to open the eyes. So now, if this was a group class, we typically have a sharing circle. So we go around and say, maybe what stage or month or week of the pregnancy each person is in. Maybe for, what number pregnancy it is, and just how you're feeling, or maybe something that you'd like to share today. Just take a moment to find how you're feeling and what you would share. So I'll start. I have a pillow baby. It's about 15 minutes old. but already I can feel, oh, you know, this makes things feel very different. So let's see. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot of tightness and pressure. So yeah, just being really conscious of that at the moment. So how about you? So embracing this amazing stage that you're in at this moment, you know, creating a whole new life. And you know, that's hard work. So listen and then act upon what your body's telling you to do. Alright, so today we'll be setting our intention on the idea that peace comes from within. So maybe you find that you resonate with that message already. Maybe it's something that you need to explore a little bit. Let's bring hands together to the heart center. Know that you are in a space of safety and supportiveness. As we join body and mind in the practice today through the breath, perhaps we are able to find that beautiful space within. A space where peace and comfort may be found. Unconditional love, security. So let's set our intention together now. You can either say it out loud or you can just say mentally to yourself, repeating 3 times, peace comes from within. And then taking a deep breath in through the nostrils. As you exhale, release your intention. So open the eyes. On your next inhalation, sweep the arms around, overhead, palms meeting, and exhaling, hands to the heart. Great. So we'll get started from here. So you can come onto all fours. Alright. So we'll begin by coming onto tabletop. If you find that your knees are feeling quite sensitive today, we can just double over the mat, or you can use a pillow or a blanket or something. Just pause the video, go fetch your prop, and then resume. Alright, so come down onto all fours, so your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath the hips. So depending on what stage of pregnancy you're in, you might need to have your knees a little bit wider apart, you know, if you're in the last trimester, getting a bit fuller. Alright, so wherever you are, your knees will be a few step width apart. As you inhale, step your right leg back towards the end of the mat. Press the heel back. Imagine that you're pressing against a wall. You should be feeling that your quadriceps, the front of the right thigh, and the glutes, the right bum muscles, are becoming more active. Alright. On your next inhalation, if it feels okay, you can bring your right leg up, and as you exhale, cross the right foot over towards the left. Maybe you can drop the foot down, otherwise hover, and then inhale to come back, exhale, drop the foot down. Inhaling, lifting up, exhaling, sweeping that foot across, inhale back to center, exhale lower. Just reset the hips, baby facing down towards the ground. Let's go 2 more. So you may be going a little bit faster or slower than me, that's okay, as long as you're moving with your breath. Alright, Alright, exhale, bring that right knee down to the mat. Okay. If you're finding that your wrists are getting quite sore, you can again double the mat over for your wrists, or you can maybe come onto your fists if that's a better option for you. Maybe even the fingers. So just find what works for you. If you're having your hands flat, I would suggest trying to press the ground away from you. So imagine that you're trying to squish all the air out between your hand and the floor. Alright, let's step that left leg back. Inhaling. Exhale. Next inhalation, lift the heel up. Exhale, sweep the leg across. Inhale to center. Exhale, toes touch down. Let's take 3 more. So this is a good exercise for you to work on your core. So in this case, our glutes and adductors. Even though things may be restricted during pregnancy, there's still ways to keep strength up and to help prepare for birth. Alright, let's bring that left knee down. If you need to just give your wrists a little roll out, that's fine. A little shake. Alright, I'm going to come back onto all fours. So something a bit different. Let's bring the knees apart, the feet together. We'll be coming from a child's pose into a swooping cat. So I'll just demonstrate for you quickly and then walk you through it. Alright, so similar to a cat-cow, but just placing less strain on your lower back. You're carrying a pretty important package. We don't want to hurt our spine whilst we are moving. So always moving in a healthy, safe manner. Walk the hands down towards the ground, coming into child's pose. Letting the head maybe rest down towards the ground. Alright, pressing into the palms of the hands on your next inhalation. Bend the elbows and bring the heart forward. Let the baby hang like a hammock, and then as you exhale, round the back, push the floor away from you. Bring the hips back down towards the heels, head to the ground. Inhaling, swooping forward, arching the spine. Exhaling, rounding back. Take one more movement, one more breath. Alright, press up onto hands and knees. We're almost done with the hands and knees. If you need to shake out again, that's alright. So from here, we're going to have a little bit of a twist. Inhale, right arm lift up. So I know that this looks like the left side for you, so let me just actually move you. Inhale, right arm lifts up. Exhale, right arm sweeps underneath the left, bringing my shoulder down towards the ground. So maybe this feels good for you with your left hand pressing down. Maybe you might want to open up through the shoulders and the upper spine, so the thoracic spine. So yeah, one option, hand to the hip, maybe hand to baby, or maybe even reach the arm up if that feels good for you. In either case, we're looking to open shoulders. Alright. Bring your left hand back down to the ground unless it's already there. Pressing back up to all fours. Okay, let's change this arms around. So now your left arm, my right, lifts up. Inhale. Exhale, sweep your left arm underneath the space of the right. If you need to shift your legs around a little bit, makes more space for baby, that's okay. Just modifying as you feel necessary. finding what your body is wanting to release. Alright, let's bring the right hand back down to the ground, pressing up to all fours. Okay, so moving on, make sure you've got some blocks handy, and we'll place the blocks in front of us, come into all fours. Walk the feet back or the knees back, and we're going to step the right leg, so your right leg, forward. Let me do that again, slowly. So out, around, making space for baby, bringing that leg forward. Alright. And we'll start moving the hips back and forth. Maybe feeling a little bit tight here today. Wherever you are, I encourage you to only approach 70% of your capacity to stretch. This is due to the fact that relaxin is a hormone present in your body during pregnancy, and it remains in your body until you discontinue breastfeeding. So we just need to be careful that we don't overstretch. Alright, we're going to start making some circles with the hips, so we'll take about 3 circles in each direction. Moving with the breath, 1 breath per circle. It can be small circles or big circles. Let's change direction. Alrighty, let's step that right leg back. Oh, not yet. Sorry. Press down into your right hand. As you inhale, your left arm's going to open up. So we're just coming into a twist. You might even want to bring your elbow or forearm to your thigh. Maybe it's too much to reach your hand up. Maybe you want your hand rather on your shoulder or to your belly, to your baby. Nice opportunity to hold baby. Just opening into the spine, breathing into the side. Gentle open twist, not going too far. And exhaling, coming back down. Alright, let's wiggle that foot back. Stepping back, moving blocks over if you need to, and then bringing the left leg forward. So we'll repeat on the other side. Moving back and forth. Inhaling, coming forward. Exhaling back. Alright, making our hip circles again, so let's go in one direction, not the band. And then let's go in the other direction. If your knee is feeling a little bit funky there, just pick it up, release, set back down, and then continue. Or if you need to place something underneath. Okay, let's go to our open twist, so pressing down through the left arm, inhaling, right arm reaching up. Again, adjusting your arm to wherever feels good. Taking a couple more breaths here. If you feel that it's too much on your neck to look up, that's fine, look down towards the floor. Alright, let's bring right hand back down to the ground, step your left leg back. Okay, so from here we're going to come into gate pose, so take your blocks again. If your knees are sensitive, again double your mat over. Knees are hip width apart. Tilt the pelvis gently. Okay, so it's almost like you're tucking your tailbone under, just so we're lengthening through the lower back. Okay, so you notice baby shifts up towards your screen. Pillow baby. Alright, so you're going to step your left foot out to the side. You can set your blocks up first though. So maybe you want, just one block is fine actually. So your one block out to the right. I think you can see it there. Can you see it? I think so. Alright. Tilting the pelvis, baby facing forward. Left foot steps out to the side. Okay, you can have your toes pointing forward or toes pointing up. Like that. Toes pointing up. Whichever feels better for you. Alright. Tilt the pelvis again. Baby facing forward. Oh, I brought the block on the wrong side. Take your block to your left side. Okay, so as you inhale, right arm rises up. As you exhale, left arm slides down the left leg. So you're bending from your waist. You can hold on to your block here. If it's too much to have your arm up overhead, that's fine. You can again bring hand to the shoulder or to your hip. So again, just going to 70% of your capacity to stretch. If you've got your arm reached up and over, try not to stretch too much. If you've got your arm up, we're going to take a few arm circles now, so really good for decompression. As you inhale, sweep the arm around, behind. Exhale, bring the arm forward. 2 more breaths here. Good. Let's inhale, come all the way up. Take your block with you. Change hands. Bring the block down to the other side. Reach that left arm up and over, creating space through your left side. Inhale to come back up. Bring your left leg in. Change sides. Right leg steps out. Block to the right leg. Knee. Baby facing forward. Okay, so hips are level, shoulders are level. Inhale, left arm reaches up. Let the shoulder be soft away from the ear. So if you find that your shoulders reaching all the way up to make friends with your ears, imagine that your ears are poison for your shoulders. So you want to keep the shoulders away from the ears, creating space in the neck. Alright, tilting the pelvis, lengthening lower back. Inhale. Exhale, side bend to your right side. Taking a few breaths here. Alright, if your arm is reached up, let's look up to the fingers. Inhale, sweep the arm around and back. Exhaling forward. So if you have been spending a lot of time lying, sleeping on your sides, as you are asked to, especially that left side, this is a really nice way to decompress the shoulders. Right, let's bring the left arm up, take your block over, bring the left hand and block down, reach the right arm over, little counter stretch, and come back to center. Okay, bring the right leg in. Cool. So from here, we're going to come up to standing, coming up whichever way works for you. And we're going to turn sideways so that we're facing the long side of the mat. Take your blocks, so 2 blocks, or books, or, water bottles. They can work as well. There we go, out the sun. So take your 2 blocks or pretend blocks, and we're going to set one up on either end of the mat. So I hope you can see them, but there are 2 blocks there. So I'm going to come to standing. The feet are hip width apart. Alright, so if you practiced yoga quite a bit before and you practice particular styles, the feet are often told to be kept together. Here we want to keep the feet at least hip width apart, whichever stage of pregnancy you're at. As you near the end of your pregnancy, maybe you might find that you need to open feet out even wider. That's fine. So we'll make that modification in all standing positions. Alright, so interlace the hands. As you inhale, sweep the arms up, reaching up tall, inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, reaching down. Okay, so from here, we're going to put our hands in this triangle shape, which is called Yoni Mudra. So it represents the womb. So, very applicable for right now. So as you inhale, we're going to reach our hands down, bring the arms forward, overhead. As you exhale, turn the fingers to face down, bringing your triangle back down. Alright, inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, bring the hands down, bend the knees a little bit this time, flowing down. So, Yoni Mudra relating to the womb, downward flow of energy. So everything grounding down, nurturing. Feeling your connection to the earth. One more breath. Bring your hands back down. Alright, inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, step the feet out to the side, heel, toe them out. We're going to come into a squat. Okay, so your knees will be about hip, your knees will not be hip width apart. Your knees will be coming over the ankles. Alright, so you might find this to be a little bit strenuous. You can have hands on the hips, on the thighs, or if you want, bring your arms into a cactus. Alright, inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, left foot turns to face the front of the mat. Right heel moves back, so your toes are pointing to the edge of the mat. Inhale to lengthen, pressing firmly down into the ground. And as you exhale, hinge at the hips, bring your right hand down to your leg. Oh, so this is your right leg, not your left leg. Alright, you can use your block here. Option to open the shoulder, the heart, maybe the arm as well. Alright, from here, bringing your left arm down towards the ground, turn the back foot. If you have any SI issues, lift the heel and turn the toes to face forward so you're more in the lunge. Alright, if your SI joint is okay, so that space between the sacrum and your hip is okay, your SI joint, sacroiliac joint, if all is fine there, then see if you can bring the left heel towards the ground, lengthening the spine. Maybe the left hip drawing forward in space. Again, observing the 70% rule. And bringing that left knee now down to the ground. Coming into a lunge. Alright. If you're feeling super strong today, maybe you might want to lift the knee up, but perhaps now is a better time to do a little bit less. Alright, so as you inhale, we're going to bring hands into Kali Mudra, or Charlie's Angel hands. As you inhale, bring the hands down, around and up. Exhale, separate the elbows, lift the heart, bring the elbows back, opening the chest. Inhale, back to Kali Mudra. Exhale, lower. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, open the heart. Let's do one more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, reach back. Inhale. And exhale, hands down. Alright, from here, turn to face towards the long edge of the mat. So, shifting your weight to your right foot. Left toe is lifting up towards the sky. You can use your block to rest on. Then, shift your weight over. Bring your block with. If you need to, bring the feet in, and we're going to come into a much lower squat. Or Malasana. So, if you find that Malasana is too much for you, you can sit on your block. See if you can try stay engaged in the muscles. So almost like you want to just be able to lift up, but not doing too much work. Alright. Bring the left hand down to the mat. Inhale, right arm lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left arm lifts up. Exhale, lower. Good. Remove your block. If you only have one block, just shift it over, otherwise take your other block, shift the weight over to the left leg, or open the right foot out to the side. If you can, toes lifting up. If you need to, soften the knees. From here, turn into a lunge. So you're going to face the other side of the mat. Bring the knee down to the ground. Shift baby to face the short end of the mat now. Okay, coming into a lunge. Just adjusting if you need to. Maybe shorten your distance, widen the feet. Make things a bit more stable, comfortable. Maybe your knees a bit dodgy today. Alright, so we'll come into our Cardinal Mudra hands again. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhale, open the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower. Inhaling up. Exhaling. So try not to close the eyes. You might overbalance. Alright, bring the hands down to the ground or one hand to the block. We're going to come into a pyramid pose. So tuck the toes under, bring the back knee up off the floor, turn the foot, coming up to standing. Okay, so hips forward, and one hand to the block, one hand to the leg. If you can, rotate your right hip forward, left hip draws back. Again, observing any changes that you need to observe in your body. Wherever you are, lengthen the spine. So if you can, find some space being created in your body. Alright, from here, as you inhale, your right hand is going to reach up towards the sky, coming into a triangle. You need to walk the back foot a little bit more back. So baby facing. Opening up into a triangle. So just letting baby face towards the long edge of the mat as much as it feels comfortable. Taking one more breath here. And then inhaling, coming back up to standing. Turn your left foot now, your actual left foot, not your right foot, to face the front of the mat. Heel toe the feet in. We're going to come back to our squats. So pressing equally into both of the feet, hips lowering, moving backwards in space. Alright, so you have your options for your arms again. So if you can press into the heels from the glutes, so you feel it all the way up here. Strong legs grounding down. And either way that you give birth, really important to have nice strong glutes. It helps with recovery. Alright, so inhale, reach the hips up, pressing down through the feet. Oh. As you inhale, reach the arms up, walk the feet in towards each other, in towards the center of the mat. Exhale, let's bring the hands down. Okay, so it's a little modified moon salutation. Should have your heart rate up a little bit by now. If you're feeling super hot, you need to take a drink of water at any stage. Please feel free to put on clothes, take clothes off, drink something, eat something, go to the bathroom, and then return. Okay, while you're at home, you should be able to do that anyways. Okay, so you might want to move to an open wall that you have, or something that's solid, like a door or a wall, not something that would be able to be pushed over. And we'll come to our peak positions. So we'll come into dancer and Ardha Chandrasana, so it's standing half moon. Cool, so you'll get your blocks. Well, still only need one of them. Cool, so you only need one block. And for Dancer, you don't need anything at all. And it's okay if you haven't done Dancer or Natarajanasana before. Either way, you're going to be standing facing your stable surface, baby facing forward, and we'll place one hand onto the surface. Alright. Catch your ankle with your hand. Alright, if you need someone to help you, that's okay. Or if you don't have anybody on hand, you can use a strap or a scarf or a towel or a t-shirt, just for whatever you've got around. Alright, so baby facing forward. You'll notice that my left arm, the palm of the hand is facing outwards. Okay, so from here, baby facing forwards, kick your foot back away from the hip. Then press the thigh away from the wall of the door. Bend your standing leg slightly, and this will depend on your flexibility, your ability, how you're feeling. So again, not going too deep into your position, just to 70%. If you feel that this is something that you do or that you have done pre-pregnancy, then move as you feel good in your body, but still observing that 70% limitation. Alright, when you're ready, coming back up to standing, release your foot, and we'll change to the other side. So if you can only stay for a couple of breaths, or you find one side very different to the other side, that's okay. Just hang out as long as it feels good for you. 3 to 5 breaths if you can, and then coming out. Okay, on to Ardha Chandrasana. So you'll have your block now. Cool. So we're going to lean completely against the wall. So have baby facing forward, but out away from the wall or the door, or your nice open surface. Turn your one foot to face forwards. Okay, relatively forwards. Your other foot will be back a little bit. Bend the front knee and start bringing the weight all the way into your front leg. So your same side shoulder is going to be against the wall. Your hip will come back as well. It'll be about 20 centimeters or so away from the wall. Okay, leaning down, transferring weight onto your block. If you can, open the hips, so the top hip rolling back, leaning against the door. Maybe hand to baby, maybe hand to hip, or if it feels okay for you, good for you, reach the arm back. Keep looking down to maintain focus, and firm the top leg. So press the heel out away from the hips. Alright, when you're ready, coming back down, just stepping back, and up we are. So let's go to the other side. Alright, and then when you're ready, coming back up. Okay. So turning to face the short edge of your mat, we'll come into a downward facing dog. So let's go from the back of the mat. Inhale to reach the arms up, pressing down through strong feet. Bend the knees, exhale, folding forward, the feet on hip width apart. Bring the hands down towards the ground, and we're going to walk the hands forward. And we'll come into our downward facing dog in this way. Okay. So feet may be wider apart than usual. The feet will be no less than hip width apart. Lengthen the sitting bones away from the hands. The head hangs heavy. The shoulders are soft away from the ears. but firm by pressing the ground away from the armpits. Let's just take a couple more breaths, maybe bending one knee and then the other. Maybe your knees are very bent, explore your body. Cool. From here, let's bring the knees down to the ground. And we'll sit the hips back, bringing the feet together, coming into child's pose once again. As you rest here in child's pose, let your awareness come back to the intention that we set at the beginning of the class. That peace comes from within. From here, let's press the hands down into the ground and start walking the hands back up to the body. Alright, we're going to bring the knees towards each other and tuck the toes under. Option here to sit on a block or a bolster or a cushion or a book or whatever you've got. Alright, so our toes are nicely tucked under, stretching out the plantar fascia. So I encourage you to stay with us to focus on breath. Lengthening the spine, the crown of the head away from the hips. Lengthening the spine, the crown of the head reaching tall away from the hips. Let the shoulders be soft away from the ears. In your next inhalation, bring your left arm up around. Bring your left hand to the outside of. On your next inhalation, bring the left arm up and around, coming to your right ear. Place the right hand underneath your hips, so between your legs. As you exhale, let the left ear drop down towards the left shoulder softening away from the ear. Let's take one more breath. As you inhale, push the head up with your hand. Alright, so next breath. Swap the arms around. So next inhalation, right arm lift up. Exhale, right ear drops towards shoulder. Think about the ribcage moving back in space. Just a gentle engaging. Keep breathing. And on your next inhalation, press the head up with your hand. Sit up. Bring the palms of the hands down to the ground. Untuck the toes and shake your feet out. So I promise it does get better as you practice it more and more often. And it helps to develop mental strength. So, you are able to sit through discomfort. You are able to breathe through discomfort, even though it may get painful. So another way to help prepare for birth. Okay, so let's swing the legs around now. Or shift them around, however it works for you. If your hamstrings, the back of the thighs, are really tight, you can sit up on your block or cushion, bolster, object. Okay, so just shift those hips up. Oh, there we go. Alright, and that will take some of the pressure off your hamstrings. Alright, if not, then you're fine to sit on the ground. Either way, we're going to lengthen the heels away from the hips. Press the thighs down towards the ground. Press the sitting bones down and lengthen through the spine. So we're not working hard here. We are firmly engaging the muscles, but they're still soft. So if you're feeling a bit too, just see if you can let go of it a little bit. Alright, so if you have edema or swelling of the feet or the legs, increasing circulation to your feet is really helpful, as is the pose, legs up the wall pose. So you would just, lie down on the ground and with your feet up against a vertical surface, and that really helps to bring, the lymph and all of that stuff out from the legs, bringing it to the various X points of the body, reducing the swelling. So also good if you're flying and you get swollen feet. So ways to improve the circulation in your feet: we'll start pointing and flexing the feet, or flexing and flexing rather. So dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. And we'll do about 10 of these, so we're halfway. Okay, let's make circles now with the ankles. If yours click a lot, that's okay. Maybe you feel some funny sensations. So if anything feels painful, try not to work so hard. Maybe do a little bit smaller circle. Last circle, and we'll go 10 in the other direction. Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, those always make my feet feel funny. Little muscles over here. So many muscles in the feet. Alright, so now let's curl the toes up. Let's do the hands as well. And then stretch the toes and fingers out as wide as you can. And curl the hands and toes. And stretch it out. Good. Last one. Okay, then shake it out. Cool, so from here we're going to bring the left leg in towards the right thigh. Alright, so again you can be propped up on your block, or if you're on the ground and you need some support underneath your knee, you can place your block or object underneath your thigh. Alright, activate the legs, not too much. We're going to modify a little bit. So instead of coming straight forward, we're going to actually open the right foot out to the side a little bit more and shift the legs over. So now when we fall forward, so they'll be facing forward, we don't have a leg to interfere with. Alright, so no hard work here. We're just going to walk the fingers forward, finding an appropriate depth, finding an appropriate depth or level of stretch for you today. We'll take 2 more breaths. And then gently walk the hands back up. Let's change the legs around. Alright. When you're ready, walking the hands forward again. Letting the head rest. The legs are only a little bit active. Still creating length in the spine. On your next inhalation, walk the hands in. Okay. So if you have a block underneath the knees, remove that block. Bring the feet together. If you're still on the block under the hips, that's fine. Alright, so coming to Dandasana or staff pose, place the hands next to the hips, press the heels away from the thighs down towards the ground. Lengthen the crown of the head away from the hips. Separate the feet. Okay, so for today, maybe just lengthening, sitting up tall. If you find that you're already getting a good stretch here, maybe bring the hands behind the back, maybe lean back a little bit. Or if you feel that you've got a lot more space and you need even more space to separate the feet, to allow the belly to come forward, Imagine that the heart is reaching forward. Okay. So from Janu Shirshasana, let's bring both feet together. So you might, and from here, you might want to use your other block. Place it underneath the other knee. Bring the soles of the feet in towards each other. Okay. If you don't need any support, that's fine. Find your appropriate level for today. Option to lean back on the hands. Option to sit tall. Or maybe an option to walk the hands forward. Maybe lengthening the spine, maybe allowing the back to round. So finding your appropriate level. Walking the hands back to center. Place the hands underneath the knees. Bring the knees up. Step the feet out. Alright, plant the blocks aside. And we'll make our way now into child's pose. So swing the legs around. Soles of the feet together. Knees apart. Making space for baby. Allowing the hands to fall forward. Option to use a block for your head to rest upon. I'm beginning to settle into the breath here. So we'll take a few rounds here to tune into the pelvic floor. Beginning to notice your breath. As you inhale, let the belly and pelvic floor be soft. As you exhale, draw the pelvic floor. And as you exhale, imagine that there is a blueberry at the end of the mat and you're drawing this blueberry up towards your cervix. On the inhalation, release the pelvic floor. Let the muscles soften. And as you exhale, imagine you're passing a bowel movement. Inhaling to release, softening the muscles of the pelvic floor. So take a few moments there just to get used to that. And it's important to both strengthen the pelvic floor by engaging, so imagining that the four bottom bones of the spine and the hips are drawn towards each other and lifting up towards the cervix, or engaging or connecting to the pelvic floor. This is important, but it's not the only important thing. We also need to be able to allow the muscles to soften and to open, to stretch. So often this isn't something that's mentioned, so that's why I've also included the, visualizing that you're passing a bowel movement. But although I haven't, gone through pregnancy or giving birth, I have been told that, that when you're being told to push, it feels like you're passing a really big bowel movement. So we can help prepare for birth by both strengthening and stretching the pelvic floor, so creating a nice healthy toned pelvic floor. These are good to do in sets of, these are good to do 3 times a day, 20 sets. Sorry. So pelvic floor exercises are good to do. So if you can work your way up to 3 rounds of 20 reps every day. So it's important for men as well as for ladies, not just pregnant ladies, you know, to prevent organ prolapse later on down the line. Okay, so let's swing the legs around now, or shift them around, however it works for you. If your hamstrings, the back of the thighs, are really tight, you can sit up on your block or cushion, bolster, object. Okay, so just shift those hips up. Oh, there we go. Alright, and that will take some of the pressure off your hamstrings. Alright, if not, then you're fine to sit on the ground. Either way, we're going to lengthen the heels away from the hips. Press the thighs down towards the ground. Press the sitting bones down and lengthen through the spine. So we're not working hard here. We are firmly engaging the muscles, but we're still soft. So if you're feeling a bit too, just see if you can let go of it a little bit. Alright, so if you have edema or swelling of the feet or the legs, increasing circulation to your feet is really helpful, as is the pose, legs up the wall pose. So you would just, lie down on the ground and with your feet up against a vertical surface, and that really helps to bring, the lymph and all of that stuff out from the legs, bringing it to the various X points of the body, reducing the swelling. So also good if you're flying and you get swollen feet. So ways to improve the circulation in your feet: we'll start pointing and flexing the feet, or flexing and flexing rather. So dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. And we'll do about 10 of these, so we're halfway. Okay, let's make circles now with the ankles. If yours click a lot, that's okay. Maybe you feel some funny sensations. So if anything feels painful, try not to work so hard. Maybe do a little bit smaller circle. Last circle, and we'll go 10 in the other direction. Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, those always make my feet feel funny. Little muscles over here. So many muscles in the feet. Alright, so now let's curl the toes up. Let's do the hands as well. And then stretch the toes and fingers out as wide as you can. And curl the hands and toes. And stretch it out. Good. Last one. Good, and check it out. Cool, so from here we're going to bring the left leg in towards the right thigh. Alright, so again, you can be propped up on your block, or if you're on the ground and you need some support underneath your knee, you can place your block or object underneath your thigh. Alright, activate the legs, not too much. We're going to modify a little bit. So instead of coming straight forward, we're going to actually open the right foot out to the side a little bit more and shift the legs over. So now when we fall forward, so baby facing forward, we don't have a leg to interfere with. Alright, so no hard work here. We're just going to walk the fingers forward, finding an appropriate depth, finding an appropriate depth or level of stretch for you today. We'll take 2 more breaths. And then gently walk the hands back up. Let's change the legs around. Alright. When you're ready, Walking the hands forward again, letting the head rest. The legs are only a little bit active. Still creating length in the spine. On your next inhalation, walk the hands in. Okay. So if you have a block underneath the knees, remove that block. Bring the feet together. If you're still on the block under the hips, that's fine. Alright, so coming to Dandasana or staff pose, place the hands next to the hips, press the heels away from the thighs down towards the ground. Lengthen the crown of the head away from the hips. Separate the feet. Okay, so for today, maybe just lengthening, sitting up tall. If you find that you're already getting a good stretch here, maybe bring the hands behind the back, maybe lean back a little bit. Or if you feel that you've got a lot more space and you need even more space to separate the feet to allow the belly to come forward. And imagine that the heart is reaching forward. Okay. So from Janu Shirshasana, let's bring both feet together. So you might, and from here, you might want to use your other block. Place it underneath the other knee. Bring the soles of the feet in towards each other. Okay. If you don't need any support, that's fine. Find your appropriate level for today. Option to lean back on the hands. Option to sit tall, or maybe an option to walk the hands forward. Maybe lengthening the spine, maybe allowing the back to round. So finding your appropriate level. Walking the hands back to center, place the hands underneath the knees, bring the knees up, step the feet out. Alright, find the blocks aside, and we'll make our way now into child's pose. So swing the legs around, soles of the feet together, knees apart, making space for baby. Allowing the hands to fall forward. Option to use a block for your head to rest upon. I'm beginning to settle into the breath here. So we'll take a few rounds here to tune into the pelvic floor. Beginning to notice your breath. As you inhale, let the belly and pelvic floor be soft. As you exhale, draw the pelvic floor. And as you exhale, imagine that there is a blueberry at the end of the mat and you're drawing this blueberry up towards your cervix. On the inhalation, release the pelvic floor. Let the muscles soften. And as you exhale, imagine you're passing a bowel movement. Inhaling to release, softening the muscles of the pelvic floor. So take a few moments there just to get used to that. And it's important to both strengthen the pelvic floor by engaging, so imagining that the four bottom bones of the spine and the hips are drawn towards each other and lifting up towards the cervix, or engaging or connecting to the pelvic floor. This is important, but it's not the only important thing. We also need to be able to allow the muscles to soften and to open, to stretch. Okay, so from here we're going to come into legs up the wall pose, or the Parita Karani. And I've got a couch. You can use a couch, a bed, the wall, dresser, I don't know, whatever you've got available. And we'll move the mats a bit closer and use a bolster or a cushion or pillow underneath the hips, just to raise the hips up off the ground and prevent the inferior vena cava from being compressed. You know, just so we're making sure that baby is getting nutrients at all times, getting oxygen delivered and carbon dioxide taken away. Okay, so once you've moved yourself over to your elevation of choice, you can sit up on your cushion, or I find it easier to bring the cushion in afterwards actually, so keep the cushion aside maybe. Lie down on your back, so coming down onto the elbows and then down, lift the feet up, shift your hips around, press into the feet, lift the hips up off the ground, and then slide your cushion or bolster underneath your hips. Alright, and I've just set up some cushions on my couch. Bring your feet up a little bit higher, it's a little bit more comfortable. Maybe you might find that your hair's in the way now. So just let it free, wind it out the way. Make sure that you feel comfortable here. The lower back should not feel uncomfortable. Letting your arms rest wherever they feel comfortable. As you bring your awareness to your breath, notice how the sensations in your body change. Bring awareness to the feet and to the legs. And maybe it feels like energy flowing down, maybe a pulsing sensation flowing from the feet down towards the hips, maybe even into the lower back. Releasing all the way down into the ground. So maybe you experience it as tingling or heaviness, easing away, melting away. Maybe you visualize it as anything you don't want in your life at that moment, anything that doesn't serve you a purpose. Surrendering to this present moment. Okay, let's gently begin moving the legs, bending the knees. And you can roll over onto your side, your left side. If you go your right side, you know it's not a train snatch. And pressing down through the left hand, coming back up to seated. Taking your time. So from here we'll come set up for our second last relaxation before we come to final relaxation, and that is to Queen's pose. So take your blocks, and you're going to set up your blocks, one vertical, one horizontal, and then you're going to place your cushions, pillows, whatever you've got that's comfy and soft and supportive over the blocks. Alright, so you might want to use an additional block or separate block just to add some extra firmness. My bolster tends to be a bit sad and floppy. Alright, so find what works for you. Okay, we're going to come around. Oh. We're going to lie back in the pose of the reclined queen, because that's what we are. We're all queens. So just make sure that you are feeling comfortable. If you feel you need to shift something around, please feel free to do so. Alternatively, if this doesn't feel good for you, you can come lie down on your left side, placing your cushion between the knees. Bring your awareness back to your breath, to the inhalation and exhalation. The sensations in your body as you breathe. And as we lie here in this pose of relaxation, we'll quietly repeat the words Om Shanti Ananda. Ananda meaning bliss. Om Shanti Ananda. Om Shanti Ananda. Keep repeating these words. Om Shanti Ananda. Gently bringing your awareness back to the present moment, making your way up to seated. And we'll get ready now for final relaxation. So remove the blocks. And we'll come lie down on the left side. You can place your pillow between the knees and maybe a block underneath the head. So lying down on your left side. Allow your body now to rest. All the hard work complete. This is your time for restoration, rejuvenation. Let your hand rest on your belly. Bring one hand to your heart. Visualize a pink light traveling from your heart through your hand, all the way through to the other hand, and connecting to baby. Beautiful pink light. Unconditional, compassionate love. Nurturing. And then gently beginning to press up to seated. Take a moment here and place the hands together at the heart center. Allowing the eyes to close once again. Taking a moment here to thank yourself for the practice, for taking the time to nurture yourself, to love yourself, to create an even healthier home for the baby you're growing. And know that you are surrounded with love. Know that you always have your beautiful space within. It's available to you whenever you may need it. A beautiful, quiet, peaceful space within. On your next inhalation, sweep the arms around in a circle, hands meeting overhead. Exhale to bring hands to the heart center. Thank you for joining me today. I wish you a beautiful day and journey ahead. May you be happy, may you be blessed, may you be peaceful, may you be loved. Thank you. Namaste.